Welcome to the Value Proposition by the Fitness Business Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Pellegrino. The Value Proposition was created specifically for industry suppliers to showcase the value that they bring to health club owners and operators beyond their product or service. Today, we're going to be learning the value proposition for networked fitness with Precor. Joining us today, we have Guy Williams, Precor's Director of Global Networked Fitness Sales, Kris McIntosh, Health and Fitness and Digital Transformation Manager at Aberdeen Sports Village, and Tim Burrows, Executive Director at YMCA of Florida's First Coast.
How's it going?
Hey there, Tim. All right, Guy is going to start us off today with our 3 real minutes, or 3RM as we like to say here, to give us some insight into Precor. So Guy, can you give us a brief history of Precor as a company?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, Precor is a pretty household name in the fitness industry, but a lot of people don't know a little interesting fact, which is how the name came about. The company was started 40 years ago by a gentleman in his garage who his first product was a hydraulics rower for the home market. And because he was kind of an industrial engineer, he came up with the name Precor, which stands for Precision Corporation. So shortening the 2 words into one. And then he went on to build other home products like a stepper and interestingly enough, the first cushioned treadmill. And then the company evolved over the years, obviously the big innovation being the elliptical, which is a category in and of itself. Yeah. And the company grew through the years to have treadmills and strength products and many other things that we'll talk about today.
Well, Guy, you just taught me something because all the years I've known about Precor, I did not know what the name stood for. So
many people don't. So that's why I like mentioning it.
That's awesome. Now, Guy, what fitness products, you touched on it a little, but what fitness products would you say Precor is most known for? And what product or service does Precor offer that you think our listeners may not be as aware of?
Well, like I said, the elliptical is the thing that really launched Precor in the industry. Back in 1995, there were stair climbers and bikes and treadmills, but there wasn't really a low impact modality like an elliptical. And Precor innovated the industry by introducing that. And that innovation fueled the ability to grow the product categories of cardio products, for Precor to acquire Icarian, a strength manufacturer, Cardio Theater, a company that made audio products and added televisions to cardio and so on. But our big innovations have been in the last 10 years with the inclusion of technology. We actually introduced the first touchscreen cloud-based platform, interestingly enough, before the iPad over 10 years ago. Wow. So the things that we're going to talk about mostly today are really in that technology realm and what we call connected network fitness solutions. Things like Advagym and Preva and the Preva mobile app and the partners that we work with.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait for this conversation. I know our listeners can't either. So thank you for that. Now, Guy, you and I spoke regarding the consultation side of Precor. So in what other ways do you all work with your facility partners to come up with the perfect solution for their business?
Well, Precor takes a very customer-centric approach. We believe that our job is to help customers solve the business objectives they have. And in our industry, it really centers around attraction, retention, operational efficiency, and driving secondary revenue. So all of the consultation services that we offer are related to that, helping with facility planning, whether it be a demographic analysis to pick a site to begin with, layout design and consultation, which goes far beyond just 2D layouts to things like, interior design with treatments and finishes and customization of colors of equipment, and then technology implementation, whether it be infrastructure planning, because today there's lots to deal with internet and media, and then of course staff implementation and customer success. So a lot of things to really help the operator be more successful.
I love that. Truly adding value to your partners, right?
We try.
All right. Well, Guy, thank you for giving our listeners some background on Precor. And start us off today. Can you please give us an overview of the different programs and terminology you're going to be using today? You've already said Preva, Advagym by Sony. So kind of describe those for us and let us know the role they play in the Precor ecosystem.
Yeah, so as the industry has adopted technology, a very generic term in technology these days is what we call the Internet of Things. And that is that devices get connected in order to have technology aid in their being able to do things for us, whether they be in our personal lives or our professional lives. And so when we talk about networked fitness, we talk about the fact that we are connecting things to the internet. And we've been doing so with touchscreens on cardio equipment for, like I said, the last 10 years. And that platform for us operates under the umbrella of what we call Preva. So if I use the term Preva, I'm meaning the cloud-based solutions of connecting data with various touch points and being able to move that data around to serve members and operators alike. We're also going to be talking about partnerships that we have with companies that produce things like mobile apps, whether it's our partnership with Advagym, who is our mobile app supplier, our partnership with Sony, who has created a whole suite of Internet of Things connected solutions to basically sensorize the entire gym. So really, we're going to be talking about those kind of cloud-based connected solutions that allow our industry to move into the next century.
That's fantastic. And I know let's dive right into this conversation, Guy. Let's start with Preva by Precor. I know you just mentioned Preva to be a mobile app connecting everything. So tell us what data customers can receive from Preva and what Preva offers exercisers.
Yeah, so we always look at things from two perspectives. One is, what is the value that it gives the operator, and what is the value that it gives their exercisers? So Preva, the cloud-based solution for us, allows the movement of data for exercisers to track their workouts. It allows them to connect experiences where they can receive content and information. So a minor example is on our touchscreens, when they log into the console, they can also have single sign-on into their Netflix account, as an example. But for the operator, they also have the ability to connect this data in a way that helps their operations. They can use data about the operation of their equipment to optimize its utilization and its service and maintenance. They can use the Preva Cloud to communicate to their members through this data connection with messaging onto the screens and through the mobile app. And they can also use the data connections to run challenges and have leaderboards and one-to-one and one-to-many engagements with their members. Because everything is connected, it really strengthens the connections between the operator and the exercisers that they and we serve.
That's fantastic. Now, Guy, is this an additional service facility operators pay for, or is it included with Precor products? And do you have to be a Precor customer to use Preva?
So when you think about Preva Cloud and we talk about connecting the cardio equipment, that is something that when someone buys those capabilities in the products, that the services that are associated with that come included with that product purchase. Okay. So the things as far as being able to look at what exercisers are doing and communicate with them onto the touch screens on the cardio equipment. We also make the Preva mobile app available to our operators for free. But with our partnership with our other partners like Advagym, an operator can significantly expand the capabilities of the mobile app by paying Advagym for some customization. With our partnership with Sony, because theirs is a standalone system that then interfaces with ours, there are some charges for that to basically connect the rest of the club. But Precor offers free things within that, for example, content and so on.
Awesome. All right, you teed me up perfectly, but now on to Advagym by Sony. So when we're talking about Advagym, what data are facility operators receiving and how are exercisers using Advagym?
Well, Advagym's a really interesting system. It started with a need, and that need was the person at Sony, who was a workout enthusiast, wanted to be able to track his workouts, and he was tired of writing them down with pen and paper. And so he wanted to create a mobile app to track his workouts, but he also wanted to facilitate operators being able to better serve him. So he created sensors that can be placed on weight stacks and around the facility to trigger data and communications with him as an exerciser. So the operator has the ability to dispatch out workouts. They have the ability to connect with exercisers, whether it be the entire facility, a subset group, or one-to-one in a personal training relationship. And they can do this both inside the facility and outside the facility. And it's that outside the facility capability that has really accelerated as we've come through this last year of turmoil in the world and in the industry. But it's a trend that began a few years ago, and it's simply been accelerated. And that is the opportunity for the operator to connect with their members no matter where they are.
I love that. And so same follow-up question as before, how can customers take advantage of Advagym and start using it in their facilities?
So again, it's a combination of a service, which is a subscription, which allows a mobile app to be provided to their exercisers that then they can connect these connections of workout tracking, information, and data between their exercisers, members, and their operations and facility staff. And then there's also a hardware component. So those two options are available to purchase and to subscribe to. And Precor is offering currently, because of the nature of what's going on, where many facilities are currently under restrictions or closure, that there's an opportunity to trial the product for free for a period of up to 90 days. So we feel like we're really trying to serve the industry by making something available for free that then may lead to a solution that they want to permanently implement.
Well, thank you so much, Guy, for really diving deep into that and describing what we're going to be talking about today. I know that's very helpful for our listeners. So I also know content and member engagement are top of mind for facility operators now, maybe more than ever, right? So how do Preva and Advagym by Sony assist operators in these areas?
So again, with the Preva system, content can be delivered to the exerciser via the touchscreens and via the mobile app, as well as with the Advagym system, content can be delivered to the exercisers that can be content that's either content that the operator creates. So if they want to film classes, if they want to film workout routines and exercises, they can do so on their own and then deliver them on demand, both in a push-pull capability via the Advagym system. But Precor knows that some operators don't have as many video capabilities, may have limited staff. So we provide a starter pack of content that's both exercises for the entire use within the facility, as well as we've started a packet of information for operators to serve their members at home with workout routines that they could do in their living room or kitchen. So it's something they can start with their own content, they can use Precor content, or they combine it together to have a hybrid of the two.
Incredible value add there. Thank you so much, Guy. I appreciate you giving us more details on that. All right, Kris, we are coming to you, sir. Can you give us a brief overview of Aberdeen Sports Village and your role there?
Perfect. So Aberdeen Sports Village is a premier sport and exercise facility here in Scotland. We host an array of different sport and activities, and we've been open around 10 years now. So we were one of the first joint venture facilities in the UK, which means we're funded by Sport Scotland, Aberdeen University, and we're also a non-profit organisation, which is a key thing. And we've got around 8,000 members, with around 2,000 to 3,000 university staff as well actively using the facility.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then your role specifically, tell our listeners a little bit about your role and, how you came to be the one choosing the new technology partners.
Sure. So my role at Aberdeen Sports Village, I sit on the senior management team. So I was included in the health and fitness tender previously. So I oversee all the health and fitness offering, which includes personal training, group fitness. I also oversee membership, and customer journey as well is key in our role there.
You wear many hats, sir.
Yes, quite a diverse role. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Now, Kris, when you were looking for a technology partner for Aberdeen Sports Village, what was it about Precor's networked fitness tools that made you choose them?
Sure. So through the entire process with Precor, we were able to provide solutions which matched our needs and wants. So they didn't just look at kit selection, for example. They looked at what we were looking to do and our onboarding process. So we join over 2,000 students roughly each September. So the key for us was to find an onboarding process which was slick and also not miss any of those key steps in our customer journey.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. And I know, Kris, you and I have chatted offline. I've seen presentations that you've put together, and you are the data king, sir. That is the crown you wear. So
thank you.
Tell us the types of data that you were able to receive from Preva and Advagym that you did not have prior to adopting these networked fitness solutions.
Sure. So with being able to use the likes of Preva and Sony, we were able to use all that data to make informed decisions. So we were able to look at our kit utilization, for example, and get an idea of the occupancy at certain times throughout the day. So one of the decisions we made based on that data was our staffing levels. So we were able to look at those peak times and actually put more staff into those areas, which really, really helped not only our personal training revenue, but also our customer experience, because there was a lot more interactions as well.
Sure. Awesome. That's wonderful. And then how do you use Preva and Advagym by Sony as networked fitness tools to better manage and make decisions at Aberdeen Sports Village?
Yeah, sure. So a few things that we do is we use the data to look at our high occupancy, like I just mentioned. So first of all, staffing. Yeah. So with COVID as well, one of the key areas we needed to make sure is that we had enough staff, but not overstaffed, because we all had to make those little savings as well with our payroll. Another thing we used was to improve our retention. So we use Sony, Advagym and Preva for messaging and interacting with our customers. So we used that for marketing materials such as promotions, programs, and all the online content as well. We used Preva as a marketing platform. So we were able to send automated messages when our customers were interacting with the kit. And we also used the reporting tools as a fourth kind of tick box exercise for our senior management team. So they were looking to look at the investment we put into the facility, but get an idea of what that actually means. And that was really important to us as well. So we're using all those things to make some decisions at ASV.
I'd say, and I'm sure having that data helps when you go to buy more equipment, correct?
Yeah, so one of the things that we'll look at in our next tender with Precor, I'm sure it'll be the same provider, is looking at the selection of kit we have and potentially looking at the most used kit versus the least used kit. And we weren't able to get access to that data before. So now we've got Sony for all the strength, Preva for all the CV. So we're covering all bases.
Wow, that is wonderful. And then, Kris, walk us through the financial business decisions that you are able to make now that you have this data at your fingertips.
Sure. So the first one, as I've mentioned a couple of times, was around staffing. So we were able to look at the staffing levels throughout the periods of the day and staff it accordingly. One other thing that we did with Precor as part of the tender was introduce our eGym app as well and improve engagement that way. So what we did see is we've seen a sharp increase in personal training. And the way that came about was we changed our customer journey from the beginning by sending out free programs to all our customers. And on the back of that, a free personal training session, like a taster session, which was really nice. And then on the back of that, all the trainers actually seen an uptake and we've seen a 92% rise in PT revenue, which was crazy.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So that was really, really rewarding to see that all these processes and procedures came together to see that spike in revenue, which was great.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is incredibly impactful and such a powerful figure to bring to the table and to bring to your leadership team. I'm sure they were thrilled.
Yeah, they were thrilled not only with the investment and how our customers were feeding back, but we had a bunch of feedback from customers, which is all positive. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Kris, looking back, now that you have this data and you didn't before, what would you tell someone that is hesitant to adopt network fitness solutions, that's maybe thinking, oh, how good could the data be, right? I don't need it. What would you say to someone now that you've been in both positions?
I would say, first of all, get behind it.
Yeah.
So you do have the support tools from Sony, Precor at your fingertips, and people like myself to help you through that journey. So I would just embrace it and try and get involved with the software as soon as you get it. Secondly, just kind of use the expertise at the table and use the case studies from myself and Tim to look at what you could be doing versus what you currently do. It's always good to take a step back and review what you've done and what you're thinking about doing, and I'm sure it'll be a success.
Awesome. And any closing remarks for us on the Precor customer support and just kind of level of support through implementations that they've provided to you?
Yeah, so sure. So the relationship we have with Precor, we've had absolutely no issue with the service and delivery. So we've never had any kit out of action, for example. And one of the benefits of having Preva for our CV kit and Sony for our strength kit is at our fingertips, we can see if everything's working correctly. And we just didn't have that with our previous provider. So there's a really kind of golden nugget for everybody to take away from the benefits of those software.
That's a great point. You don't have to try out all your equipment to see if it's working or not, right?
Yeah,
it tells you.
Exactly. You just log in the website and it tells you everything you need to know.
Awesome. And, I'm sure that, with the back office, the data, it's easy to read, easy to understand what all the data is telling you, or did you have to take a lot of steps to really ingest that information?
Going back to the previous point, it was easy to just get into the back office, and the delivery of training from Sony and Precor was actually great. So it's really easy to understand. It's not overly complicated. It gives you it in graph format. It's really, really simple to use. And like I said, the expertise is around the table if you need a bit of help.
Awesome. Well, Kris, thank you so much for your insight into this area. Like I said, I know you're the data king, and that's great to know that you'll, help answer questions if any of our listeners want to connect with you. We'll, put your contact info on our website for them. But thank you so much for being here with us today. We so appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, Tim, we are coming your way next. So I'd love it if you can give our listeners an idea of how many facilities you oversee and more about your position at the YMCA.
Sure thing. So thank you for having me. I'm part of the Florida's First Coast Association in Jacksonville, Florida. So we actually have 14 membership branches, a youth development campus, a charter school, a resident camp, and then we have a lot of partnerships with hospital-based systems. I'm home-based out of the Winston Family YMCA in downtown Jacksonville. We have a healthy living center in our space, so we actually have partnerships with a rehabilitation clinic, an insurance provider, and a hospital system all underneath the roof of my Y. I provide oversight to 3 of the 14 membership branches. The Winston Y is considered the flagship here in Jacksonville. We have close to 10,000 members. Pre-COVID, unfortunately, it was close to 15. We're going to get those people back, but still hovering around 10,000 members. So we serve a lot of people. In 2019, we actually served over 500,000 people at my Y alone. And I am the executive director of the Winston branch, so I provide insight and operations for this location.
Wow. Awesome. All right. That is a lot going on there, Tim. Thank you so much. And those are amazing figures of community members that you're able to serve. That's wonderful. Tim, can I'd love to know what you were wanting to accomplish when bringing in Precor's networked fitness solution. So were you solving a problem that you were having in your facilities, or were you just wanting to add value to your staff and exercisers?
I think more so it was the value proposition. We started our journey. We've been, with Precor a long time, but in 2013 we started, upgrading to the P82 consoles and get on board with Preva back then. So we've been using Preva going on 8 years now, and really that was a way to engage the members. There's so much capability that comes from the touch screen, whether it's, earning your badges through gamification, streaming your Netflix, doing the Run TV so you can have beautiful scenic routes when you're on the elliptical or treadmill, things like that. So for inside the branch, it was really helpful. And then, Guy alluded to the mobile app as well in terms of how we can connect people anywhere at any time. So that's kind of been the longstanding relationship with Preva, and we continue to adapt and evolve with that. for the staff side of Preva, it's helpful. As Guy mentioned, the business suite, we use it for data tracking in terms of equipment utilization and all kinds of good stuff behind the scenes. And then Advagym, we just launched it. So 3 of our branches, we started the process. We really kicked it off in January. And, Guy and his team had been helping us through the fall to get ready for that launch date.
Well, that is very exciting, and I'm so looking forward to diving into this more with you, because 8 years versus a few months, I think that's really awesome perspective for you to be able to share with our listeners today. So thank you for that. Tim, anyone in the fitness industry knows that member engagement and retention is of the utmost importance. So how does Preva and Advagym by Sony help you better engage with your exercisers, thus creating an overall better member experience?
I think it gives them another connection point inside the YMCA. And it's a very big connection point, because most people walk through the doors of the Y for a health and wellness benefit, and then they get connected in other aspects in terms of what we offer. But technology, obviously, it's not going anywhere. It's always adapting and ever changing. So with us at the Y, we wanted to get out in front of it. So, that's why we started the journey with Preva back in 2013. And just kind of ran with it ever since. So I really think it's just another tool in our toolkit at the Y that helps connect and support our members through their health and wellness journey. So obviously it's been a huge hit, and we're so happy to have it as part of our networked fitness at the YMCAs.
Facility operators know that when bringing in any new technology, half the battle is getting your staff to buy into the change. So do you have any recommendations on how to get great staff buy-in when adding networked fitness tools?
I think the first step is to stay the course. Obviously, there's buy-in from the leadership team, and it has to trickle all the way down to, in this case, our wellness staff and our personal trainers. So stay the course, be patient. Obviously, there's a learning curve for members. There's definitely a learning curve for staff too, to kind of get on board with technology. With that said, though, the Precor team is fantastic. I mean, obviously, Guy and the group, I've known them for almost a decade now, and they're there to support us as well. When we rolled out Preva back in 2013, I mean, they came up to Jacksonville and did an in-depth training to make sure we understood everything from the technology to how to message to how to look at the business suite. So they were always there for us every step of the way. And then really, it's just the accountability. You always want to inspect what you expect. So working with we call them our healthy living directors, but it's like the wellness director at the YMCA branches, and just make sure that they're constantly top of mind with their staff in terms of the technology, because really that's, like I said, another tool that helps engage our members, and it's much easier to keep a member than it is to try to attract a new one.
That is great. And I know, just like Kris is the data king, I know that you are the staff engagement king. So do you have any words of wisdom for a facility operator that may be struggling? They maybe had to lay off staff and bring staff back, and then adding in a new technology piece, you're asking more of your people. Do you have any words of wisdom for someone that's maybe struggling with that right now?
Yeah, well, that actually happened to us. We had to make tough decisions and furlough staff and brought them back. We actually had to close down our association for approximately 10 weeks from St. Patty's Day to Memorial Day. So I think the biggest thing is just be the biggest cheerleader you can. Obviously, I have a great relationship with the guys at Precor. The thing is really taking kind of what I know and kind of rally the troops to make sure that, hey, Tim's buying into this, but what we really need is you guys to buy into it as well, because we're only as good as the wellness director or the personal training staff driving the technology, because they're on the front lines working every day with these members or personal training clients. So I just think the biggest thing is to be a big advocate. I mean, obviously you have to embrace the technology, because if you don't, you're going to get left in the dust real quick. So when it comes down to it, this is just a great feature that we have. Like as Guy mentioned before, a lot of the components of it are free and embedded into the equipment installs that you do at your branches or locations. So I think with us, it's really just a great tool that really helps our engagement at all of our Y branches here in Jacksonville.
I love that. And something you said that really drove that point home is the leadership buy-in, right? You can't ask your staff to do something that you're not willing to take charge of and lead yourself. So that's a very important piece right there. Thank you. All right. Now, Can you speak to the level of support that you have received from Guy and his network fitness team from before you had the network fitness tools in your club until now? And I would love if you could break down to 8 years ago. So what does that still look like today? And then your, few month old implementation.
Yeah, so obviously the relationships have been longstanding. So like I mentioned with Precor, with Preva, they were there every step of the way. Anytime I needed them, phone call, email, they come up and see me here in Jacksonville and visit, as frequently as they can. So obviously that has been fantastic. The Advagym rollout, Guy and his team were up here. They were helping us with layouts and where to place the pucks, we call them, to put them around the branches, all the way to educating the staff and getting them ready for rollout. One big thing that they did was help us on the back end so we could be ready on the front end to deliver it. And as I mentioned, it's really new. But one thing we're doing with Advagym is we've incorporated that at the 3 branches that have it into the member onboarding process. So when new members come in, obviously we do 3 appointments with them, but now we use the Advagym technology to take them through the strength assessment. We do their PAR-Q, health history, goal setting, all of that. Second appointment, we actually take them through the Advagym workouts and make sure that they're comfortable with the technology. And then the third piece is selfishly to, have a complimentary personal training session with that staff, because that staff has had 3 appointments with the member, build the rapport. So utilizing the technology is great. And then it could be a springboard into, revenue streams of personal training sales. And it helps them build their clientele and helps the staff build confidence in terms of member relationships. So it's a big spectrum that's cyclical, but the entry point, we're using Advagym as the technology to drive that onboarding process at our Ys.
Love that. Thank you, Tim. That is awesome. A large value add to obviously your exercisers and your staff as just a really key engagement tool with the exercisers. Awesome, Tim. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with our listeners today. I do want to ask you, if there's a facility operator out there that is hesitant to adopt network fitness solutions with Precor, what would you tell them?
I tell them, don't be afraid of change. I mean, obviously, technology is everywhere. The partnership that we have as Precor is top notch. So, I mean, if you're on the fence, I would get out of that comfort zone and take the plunge, because it's well worth it. Every health and fitness club in the industry is different. For us at the YMCA, it's all about member engagement, and the tools that we've used with Precor over the past, 8+ years have done nothing but help benefit us at the YMCA. So I appreciate everything that they do for us, and we're glad that we have them as a partner.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your insight. It means a lot to me that you're willing to share that, and I know it means a lot to Guy and the Precor team. So thank you. Now, Guy, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. We've all seen Precor in the news lately in a huge, huge way. We've seen the headlines, Peloton to acquire fitness equipment maker Precor. So in your opinion, what does this acquisition mean for the future of network fitness within Precor?
Well, Sarah, as you know, under the acquisition guidelines from, big corporations and the legal teams and all those things, I can't really say much about the specifics of the nature of the acquisition. And quite honestly, I don't know much, because we're still in that process of them finalizing the transaction with our current parent, Anta. The promise for the future is bright. It's a big company. Largest valuation in the fitness industry, amazing, resources and content and innovation. Precor brings a lot to the table, as we put out in the press release, with our manufacturing expertise and product capabilities. So personally, for me, I think it's going to be tremendous for the industry, tremendous for Precor, and tremendous for Peloton. So we're excited. We look forward to the future, and hopefully we'll have more details to come soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Now, Guy, I'm also going to circle back to you on a very special announcement that you wanted to share exclusively with the listeners of the Fitness Business Podcast Value Proposition today.
Yes, with a large portion of your, viewership, listenership being from down under, we're very excited. We've recently finalized some plans regarding Australia and New Zealand to finally bring the Advagym solution to the marketplace. So on this call, I'm making an announcement that we'll be doing that. We are going to, be bringing Advagym to those marketplaces, hopefully starting here towards the end of the first quarter. So more details to come. If anyone in Australia or New Zealand is interested in learning more about Advagym and those solutions and all of the Precor solutions we've been talking about, please contact our distribution partners at NovaFit in Australia and at Blue Fitness in New Zealand, and we can set up a time to talk to you about the details. But we're pretty excited about getting into that marketplace and serving more members to help them be healthy.
I love it. I'm super excited for that. I know my friends in Australia will be equally as excited. So thank you so much for sharing that news with us today, Guy. This is, and I will give you, this is the crown that you can wear, Guy. That was the first special announcement made on the value proposition.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Awesome. Now, Guy, if someone wants to learn more about what we've discussed today, how can they best reach you?
So guy.williams@precor.com is my email. It's quite simple. They can also reach out to their local contacts that they know with Precor, and they can go to our website. We have a great set of content on our website about our network fitness solutions, whether it be Preva, our newly released Preva mobile app, which is available globally, as well as our Advagym solutions in those markets where we are representing it. So just reach out to us via the web. And in conclusion, I really just want to thank Tim and Kris for joining us today. Long-standing valued partners of Precor, good friends of mine. I really appreciate them sharing their insights with your listeners. And thank you, Sarah, for hosting this. It's been great.
My pleasure. Thank you, Guy, and thank you, Kris and Tim. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to hear the value proposition for networked fitness with Precor. Be sure to tune in Friday, February 19th for our next episode to hear about the value proposition for ASF. And to show we walk the talk at the Fitness Business Podcast, all the resources, links, contact information from today's show can be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, adding value to our FBP family. Until next month, what you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. See you next time.